Hello, and this is EllAstrology, and today I'm going to tell you guys why I think Libra is the most peace-seeking sign out of all the signs in the Zodiac. Libra is the sign of the scales, and as most of you know, Libra is the sign that is known for always seeking balance and peace. It's very easy to usually recognize a Libra person because the Libra person will usually be the person in the room that is smiling and who usually just has kind of like a peaceful disposition on their face. These people are usually very, very kind. They're very, very sweet and they hate being rude to other people. So they're very easy to recognize because they'll just be the very kind, sweet person around who's kind of generally just being nice to everyone. Most people would think that Libra people are extroverted, but that's not necessarily always true. These people are usually big fans of other people, but they're not big fans of crowds. So they like having one-on-one interactions and intellectual conversations with other people, but they don't really like being lost in a crowd of people and without actually being able to communicate and interact with other people. Libra people are usually very, very good mediators. They are usually the people who go around and they try and resolve arguments and fights between their friends. Because of the Libra scales, these people are very, very good at seeing both sides to a story. They usually consider both sides before they come to a conclusion, and because of this, they make for very good mediators. Because Libra people are very peaceful and peace-seeking, these people are usually very, very good-natured. It's very, very rare that you will find a Libra who has bad motives and just bad intentions. The quickest way that you can get a Libra to be sulky and in a bad mood is by giving them orders, because these people usually prefer to do things on their own terms and they don't really like getting orders from other people and being told what to do. They also don't like being forced into a decision, so because of this, it's best to just let them make their own decisions and come to their own conclusions. Libra people are known for being quite restless because they are an air sign. They've got a lot of thoughts, a lot of ideas going on in their head, but they're usually not known for rushing things, and they do usually think things through a lot before they come to decisions. And Libra people usually think things through so much that they actually find it hard to come to decisions, and they might never ever decide or make up their mind on certain topics. I've noticed because Libra is the sign of the scales, they like to balance things. However, this is not always the case with them. Usually with a Libra, things go very up and down. You'll find that one day you'll find your Libra in a very jolly, happy mood, and they'll be quite pleasant and joyful. The next day you might find your Libra in a bit more sulky, little bit more down mood. It's usually because Libra people find it very hard to keep a balance. They're usually kind of tipping the scales and going from one extreme to another, trying to find a balance, but they kind of never find it because, like scales, you know, it's very, very hard to get that perfect balance of everything. You will find that because of this, that half the time they are quite stubborn, quite moody, and quite sulky. And other half of the time, you know, when they realize that they need to start balancing the scales and they're going to one extreme too much, that they're very peaceful, they're very happy, and just a very pleasant person to be around. One of the physical traits of Libra, and actually any person who has a Venus-ruled sun sign, such as Taurus or Libra, will have something called Venus dimples. So they will usually either have dimples on their face, or the women could even have dimples on the back of their hips. But usually one of the physical traits that you can identify them by is very, very prominent dimples somewhere on their body. A Libra person will never express their discontent or their angry emotions on their face. Usually they'll have quite a pleasant expression on their face. Like I said earlier, they'll be smiling and they'll just look quite peaceful and joyful. However, when they are moody or just in a bad mind space, they will wear more of a neutral look on their face and they won't exactly express that they're unhappy, but they also won't be wearing that pleasant, joyful face that they usually wear. I have found that Libra people do have very, very powerful smiles. I find that very, very few people, can smile as beautifully and as brightly as a Libra, and their laughs are usually contagious. So when a Libra, starts laughing in a room, they usually get everyone else to start kind of cheering up and to start laughing and to kind of just get this joyful attitude and joyful spirits. Like I said, when the Libra scales are very well balanced, it's basically like meeting an angel. It'll be a very, very sweet, pure, amazing person. These people are usually also very good at making other people feel good about themselves. They're very, very good at smoothing out other people's ruffled feathers and also just kind of giving them good advice and being a good ear to listen to. When a Libra person scales dip towards the more positive side and they're in a hard-working mood, they can be very, very hard workers. They can be very dedicated and passionate people to what they do. However, when their scales dip towards the more negative side, they do tend to have a very lazy side to them. So I have noticed, because I have so many family members in Libra, that when a Libra person gets upset and they kind of get into a more gloomy mood, they are kind of immovable. They become like a rock. They'll just, kind of lay in bed and read all day, or they'll lay in bed and watch TV, and they'll kind of just, be very, very hard to get out of that kind of mind state or get out of that kind of mood. So when that happens, it's best to just leave them, let them be, let them think their things through, and at some point they will become happy and peaceful and normal again. These people do tend to also go to two extremes when it comes to the energy levels. So when they're happy, they have lots of energy, lots of vibrance, but when they're in a more dark place, they have very, very little energy and they can be quite tired and that kind of thing. If you are very close to a Libra, it can sometimes feel like two different people, because they sometimes have, these two sides to them where they can kind of be, like I said, dark, and they sink into this kind of dark mindset, or they're extremely happy and joyful. Libra is quite similar to Gemini in this way, because Gemini also basically has two different sides to them, but it is quite different with the two different signs. With Libra, they don't actually change like a Gemini does. So when you look at a Gemini, it's more like a change of character. When they go to the two extremes of the two different people there are, it's like they actually change what they believe and they change their outlook. However, with Libra, it's different. With Libra, they don't actually change, what they believe really, or their outlook and that kind of thing. It's more like they dip into different extremes of emotions, and it's difficult for them to show the other side of themselves while they're in this extreme of an emotion. I hope that makes sense to you guys. So basically, where Gemini has the duality in terms of a more intellectual level, where they change their minds and their opinions because of the different thoughts that they have, Libras change on a more emotional level. So they change their minds and the way that they act based on their emotions, not really their thoughts. It is also said that Libras can tend to overindulge sometimes, and that can be on many different things. It can be food, it can be alcohol, it can be any kind of thing that they really, really, enjoy a lot. It might sometimes not be something that's really, really bad, like they can enjoy to indulge in exercise, or they can enjoy to indulge in something like artwork or even gaming. But usually a Libra person will have their one thing that they usually overindulge in a bit. Libra people are usually healthier than most other people. However, when they push themselves too hard and they don't give themselves rest time, then it can actually be quite detrimental to their health. It is basically said that the effect of peace and harmony on a Libra's health is miraculous. So by that I mean, if a Libra person is in a positive environment and they're surrounded by positive people and positive things, they usually flourish, and they usually become a very, very positive, happy person. However, when they're surrounded by negative people and a negative environment, it really does affect them, and they can actually become ill and they can become negative themselves. I usually enjoy having discussions about quite, serious intellectual topics with Libras, because Libras usually don't make generalized statements. They usually see two sides to a story and they consider both sides, and they're usually not people that have their mind set up on one kind of belief, and they're usually quite rational when it comes to their beliefs and their opinions. However, because they do consider both sides so much, it does make them quite indecisive. So it is said that if you have quite strong Libra aspects in your natal chart, it will make you quite an indecisive person. Thank you guys for watching this EllAstrology video and why I think Libra is the most peaceful sign in the zodiac. Definitely hit that like button if you guys enjoyed this video, and please hit that subscribe button if you guys want to see some more astrology content. See you guys next time.